I'm Theresa, this is My Fix It Up Life, and it's time to DIY. Today's fix for My Fix It Up Life is making a little planter box for my house numbers. So here's the deal. We've had these really pretty numbers on our house for like a decade, and I love them. Thing is that they're stuck just right into the stucco. And they don't have a little background to make them pop. So today I'm making a planter box to plant these numbers in and make them pop. The first step in this project is gathering all the materials. And well, one of them is just taking the house numbers right off the house. I measured them, and I also measured the space on the front of the house to see how big the planter box could be. And I'm lucky enough that I had a couple pieces of 1x12 from a former project lying around, and I just sanded them smooth. And after I gathered up these materials and I measured everything, I made a little drawing. So now I have a diagram that tells me exactly how big every single piece of wood needs to be. And now it's time to mark the wood, cut it, and assemble the project. Now that I've marked the wood, it's time to cut the wood. Now that I cut all the pieces for the planter box and the backer, it's time to cut the wood trim. I'm using this flat stock, but I'm mitering the corners, so I set my blade runner at a 45-degree angle, and I'm ready to cut. Now that all the pieces are cut, it's time to put it together. But instead of fasteners, I'm going to use construction adhesive. I don't have to worry about nail heads or screw heads. But before I put it together, I'm going to dry fit it one last time to make sure all the pieces go together perfectly. Miters look good? Looks good. I am ready. Right. The construction adhesive is dry, and I think this looks great. It's ready for paint. Now I'm going to paint it white to go with our front porch, and I'm going to use spray paint because I want the paint job to go quick. I'm going to prime it, then I'm going to use white gloss to paint it, and then I'm going to clear coat it just to be sure that it's extra protected against the weather. The paint is dry and I have attached the numbers, but since this is also a planter, I need to do a little extra something on the inside of it to make it extra water resistant. So I'm going to line it with some clear tape that's waterproof. After hanging the planter, I added a few flowers. I love this little project. I hope you do too. That kitten is not ready to DIY. So, dust is not paint's friend. Challenge with making a video in your backyard is that, well, there's planes, there's trains, there's trucks, there's babies, there's birds, there's all kinds of stuff. Are you ready to DIY? I totally am.